Hey, Ken Reed here, the TV Guidance Counselor. If you've listened to me talk for more than 5 minutes, you probably have heard about how I had a cable access show in Melrose, Massachusetts about comic books back in 1992 when I was 12 years old, 30 years ago. Thankfully, no footage from that show has resurfaced. However, today I did manage to find footage of a parody of my show. Go with me on this one. All right, let's stop right there. Kenny Weed, it's just now that I got that joke that is like I'm a baby, so I peed my pants, and the whiz thing. At the time, I thought it was like a pot joke, which tells you my frame of reference. Anyway, so this show was called Through the Wire. It was on Melrose Mass TV or MMTV, and it was a sketch show, and they would do parodies of other shows on the cable access channel. Pretty niche. Anyway, continue.
Hello, I'm Curtis Payload, and this is Ken Weed, Melrose Comic Whiz. Today, we're going to discuss women in the comics. Now, I've never been on a real date, so I don't have much experience with real women, but I've read a lot of comic books, so I know a lot about comic book women.
All right, now this guy, whose name I cannot recall. Well, let me give you a little background. So I went to this cable station and I asked if I could do a show about comic books. There was two other guys who wanted to do shows about comic books. Curtis Paylow, who was the manager of New England Comics in Malden, Mass., and this guy Chris Carey. So the general manager of the cable access station, yes, there were general managers of cable access stations, said no, you have to do this show together, or we can't have two comic book shows. So Curtis Payload, because he's fat, is a parody of Curtis Paylow, who was basically the comic book store guy from The Simpsons. Also, these guys got to be, what, 25 to 30 at the time? I'm 12. They're probably in their 60s now. Anyway, continue. Oh, wait, hold on one second. I forgot. This guy playing Curtis Paylow was the manager at a rival comic book store in Wakefield, Mass. Called Webhead that no longer exists. Anyway, continue.
What do you think, Kenny?
I think
Kenny, how many times do I have to tell you it's time to come in? You shouldn't be hanging around with this Curtis character anyway. Now, come on. You have to get in the house now. You and your brother.
Well,
My mother lost her shit. She was convinced they were making fun of her, and she went down to the station when these guys were filming and like flipped out on them. So anyway, there you go. That is Through the Wire parodying Comically Speaking, which is the name of a comic book store here as well, who asked the show to stop using that name. Pete needs me. So I think we called it Comically Something. Again, the other two guys want to call it Comically Speaking. I think I was just going to call it the comic book show. Anyway, I was parodied when I was 12 years old.